What if I told you that a book with talking animals explains more about power, politics, and human nature than most history textbooks? At first glance, George Orwell's Animal Farm looks simple. Farm animals rebel. They overthrow humans. They try to build a fair society. Sounds like a children's story, right? But by the final page, something feels deeply unsettling. The pigs walk on two legs. The commandments change, and the animals realize they can no longer tell the difference between pig and man. So what is Animal Farm, really? Is it just a short political satire written in the 1940s? Or is it a timeless cautionary tale warning us about power, corruption, and the dangers of blind loyalty? Today, we're breaking down Animal Farm to answer one question. Is this story only about the pastor? Is it about us? To understand Animal Farm, we first need to understand George Orwell. Orwell wasn't just an author. He was a journalist, a soldier, and a political thinker who deeply distrusted unchecked power. He watched revolutions promise equality, only to create new dictators. Animal Farm was written during World War II, but it's mainly an allegory for the Russian Revolution of 1917 and the rise of Joseph Stalin. Here's the key idea. Orwell wasn't attacking socialism itself. He was attacking how revolutions can be hijacked. The dream of equality is powerful, but when power is concentrated in the hands of a few, ideals don't survive, they mutate. And Orwell chose animals for a reason. Animals make the story feel distant and safe. But that distance lets us see human behavior more clearly. Because when animals act like humans, we realize how predictable humans really are. At the beginning of Animal Farm, life is simple. The animals are oppressed by Mr. Jones, the human farmer. They work endlessly. They're hungry. They receive nothing in return. Then comes Old Major. Old Major represents the revolutionary dreamer, the philosopher. He speaks of a world where all animals are equal. No one exploits another, and everyone benefits from their own labor. This is the perfect revolution. And the animals believe him. Why? Because oppression makes people desperate. And desperate people cling to hope. This moment mirrors real history. Before every revolution, there is a speech, a vision, a promise that this time things will be different. And at first, it works. The animals overthrow Mr. Jones. They rename the farm animal Farm. They create the 7 commandments, the most important being, all animals are equal. For a brief moment, equality exists. But revolutions don't fail immediately. They fail slowly. Enter the pigs, Napoleon, Snowball, and Squealer. The pigs are smarter than the other animals. They can read, they can write, they can think strategically. And in this story, intelligence becomes power. At first, the pigs claim leadership is a burden. They say, "We're only doing this for your own good." That sentence should always make you nervous. Snowball represents idealism, organization, innovation, progress. Napoleon represents ambition, control, fear, authority. When Snowball proposes improvements like the windmill, Napoleon doesn't argue ideas. He uses force. His trained dogs chase Snowball off the farm. This moment is crucial, because the revolution doesn't collapse here. It continues. But it becomes something else entirely. From this point on, power is no longer shared, it is enforced. But Napoleon doesn't rule alone. He has Squealer. And Squealer is the most dangerous character in Animal Farm. Why? Because he doesn't use violence, uses words. Squealer twists facts. He rewrites history. He makes lies sound logical. When the pigs take extra food, Squealer explains it's necessary for them to do the brain work. When the commandments change, he insists they were always that way. And when animals start to question authority, he asks one simple, chilling question. Surely you don't want Mr. Jones to come back. Fear becomes the ultimate weapon. And here's the terrifying part. The animals believe him. Not because he's honest, but because thinking is exhausting. It's easier to trust authority than to challenge it. This is where Animal Farm stops being a history lesson and starts being a warning for all of us. If Napoleon is raw power and Squealer is propaganda, then Boxer is the heart of the farm. Boxer is strong. Boxer is loyal. Boxer believes in the revolution more than anyone else. His two mottos are, "I will work harder," and "Napoleon is always right." Boxer represents the working class, the people who carry entire societies on their backs. He doesn't question leadership. He doesn't ask for proof. He believes that his loyalty will be rewarded. But loyalty without awareness is dangerous. When Boxer collapses from exhaustion, the pigs don't save him. They sell him to a glue factory. And Squealer calls it a heroic sacrifice. Claiming Boxer died peacefully in a hospital, his last words praising Napoleon. This is Orwell's harshest message. Revolutions don't just fail because of tyrants. They fail because good people stop questioning. By the end of Animal Farm, the transformation is complete. The pigs wear clothes. They sleep in beds. They drink alcohol. They walk on two legs. The 7 commandments are erased, reduced to just one. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. That single sentence explains centuries of human history. Power doesn't abolish inequality. It just rebrands it. The other animals look through the farmhouse window. They see pigs and humans playing cards together. And they can't tell who is who. And that's the point. The revolution didn't eliminate oppression. It just replaced the oppressors. So, is Animal Farm just a book? No, it's a mirror. It reflects what happens when power goes unchecked, when truth is controlled, and when loyalty replaces critical thinking. Orwell isn't saying all revolutions are bad. He's saying blind belief is dangerous. The scariest part of Animal Farm isn't Napoleon. It's how easily everyone else lets him win. And that's why this book still matters today, because Animal Farm isn't just about animals. It's about us. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing for more deep dives.